Hello everyone, this is Satya, and uh, good morning, good evening to everyone who have joined. Um, a very warm welcome to this webinar. We are going to cover few things in this webinar. First of all, thank you very much for joining. For some, it is very early in the morning. For some, it is very late in the night. It is around 8 o'clock here, and we are going to touch about three major topics. I'll be a little slow so that everyone can understand. And the first topic is we're going to talk more about what are the advancements in blockchain, especially blockchain 4. And we are going to talk about the benefits of this blockchain 4. And then we are going to talk about the shift which blockchain is doing, JD Coin is doing, where we are shifting from proof of work to a very revolutionary proof of stake consensus algorithm. So little details about it. So for the benefit of people who have joined little late or who are joined just now, I see about 54 participants. Some have just joined. We will be having a 30-minute webinar on this, where I'll be touching upon all major topics related to blockchain, blockchain version 4, and how JD Coin is moving from proof of work to proof of stake algorithm. So let's start with the basics. Hope you guys are able to see the screen, everyone. So for the benefit of people who are just little new to blockchain, I would not spend too much time explaining what is decentralized ledger is all about. Most of you know that blockchain is a decentralized ledger which stores transactions not in a single place, but in a decentralized multiple places, multiple nodes, multiple uh, computers, where it is completely decentralized. So there is no single entity which will store it. So it has its own benefits. Blockchain has its own benefits of being decentralized and being not in one single place, not in control with one single place, single entity. So what are the advantages of blockchain? So the major advantages of blockchain is that it is very efficient. Many people know this, that it is so efficient that there is no place for errors. The errors are so reduced, and it also increases speed. So there is huge efficiency in any blockchain application, may it be anything. I mean, the second very good advantage is transparency. So you get real-time insights into trade. You have block explorers to see explore each block and see what's happening. So there is a lot of transparency. There is a trust, saying that you don't have to trust one single entity, but you have to trust the whole system, saying that there is a bunch of people who validate your transactions. There is a system which needs to approve the transactions. So the trust is built on the system as opposed to one single entity. There is a lot of resilience. When it says resilience, that means the data is replicated in many nodes. It's not in just one single place. So there is a large amount of robustness in data. You lose one whole chain, you can rebuild it with using the other nodes and using the other places where the chain exists. The chain does not exist in one single place. That is one of the major advantages. So what are the other benefits? Many people know this, but this is mainly for the people who are very new to blockchain. So the main benefits of this blockchain technology as such is it is an immutable data. That means once it is written, it cannot be changed. Once a block is written, it cannot be changed. Second thing is, it is the privacy part of it, because many of it always talk about how much privacy we get here. Most of the transactions can be anonymous. So there is huge amount of anonymity in privacy. So this will help you. Suppose you have spent some money, you don't have to reveal about what it has been done. The next is the digital freedom. You have a freedom that it is owned by a team of people, not one single entity like a bank. It is not owned by one bank and you are entitled for all its rules and regulations. The nodes define the rules and define the regulations that has to taken place on a particular blockchain, particular chain in fact. And the other benefits would be the lower transaction fees. The transactions are the transaction fees which the other banks and everyone charge are too high because they have to maintain large number of systems. They have to the transactions are sometimes very much low. They are maybe less than $1 to transfer something. So these are the benefits of blockchain as a technology. As most of you guys know, there are two types of blockchains. One is called a permissionless, another is called a permissioned blockchain. Any public blockchain, like any of the famous ones, they are like Bitcoin, JD Coin, they are all permissionless. That means anyone can participate. Devices can be anywhere in the world and they can participate. They don't need a particular permission. Public blockchains are permissionless. There are private blockchains. Many of them are from large corporations like IBM, Microsoft, Oracle, and all that stuff, where it is fully permissioned. Someone has to get an invitation to participate in that blockchain. Someone has to get an invitation and then he can participate. So there is hybrid, but for the basic knowledge, permissionless and permissioned are enough. Now coming to JD Coin. JD Coin has now many new advantages compared to its previous versions, and it brings many new features. Along this whole webinar, we'll be talking about many such advantages which we are bringing into JD Coin. One of the main ones, is, apart from what I said, is the new consensus algorithm, which is a new modified proof of stake. Like the other major features would be, which are very innovative, would be atomic swaps. The atomic swap, which I'll explain you as we go through, is a very important feature, and it is going to be very useful in the future. And as we modify most of the JD Coin code, we are also bringing in one of the best security into the system. So the security is going to be highly improved and would going to be one of the best. Second, very innovative feature which we are trying to bring, and we are doing a lot of R&D, is data sharding and compression. We are in a very advanced stage of data sharding, where one big chunk of data is stored in multiple locations, and we can join them together to get back that big block. And we are also working on compression, because as you know, as the chain gets mature, the data becomes the data becomes very heavy. So in the future, as we walk along this journey of blockchain, compression will be very important to compress long chains. So seeing that future, we have taken up data sharding and compression as one of the things which we want to introduce into JD Coin. Now coming to this buzzword where everyone are saying is, what is blockchain 4.0? So as JD Coin also is moving towards blockchain 4.0, I would want to first explain what are all the problems we have in generation 1, generation 2, and generation 3 blockchains. When we understand these problems that exist in generation 1 and 2 and 3, then we can easily understand why generation 4 is so very important. Problems of first and second generation blockchains are, they are not very scalable. Sometimes today the transactions are taking very long time. And because of mining and mining pools, what is happening is slowly it is getting to be centralized by mining pools. The people who have large pools have more control. And the fees is also becoming high because of energy costs of mining. So we are also moving out of mining, as you know. So the first and the second generation blockchains have these problems. The second generation, the third generation, the third generation have improved upon all this. They are no more just mining and other things, but there are other interoperable issues. You cannot operate between the chains. Then you have to rely upon an exchange to operate. If you have to send something, it can be a Litecoin, send some Bitcoin, or send some Ether, you have to rely upon an exchange if it is a third generation blockchain. And parallel chains are not that efficient in third generation. So looking at these problems of mining and getting more centralized using mining pools, and also interchain operability, the fourth generation blockchain has come into picture. So JD Coin, we are researching interchain data exchange in a very big way. We are trying to do atomic swaps. So the benefits and advantages of being on fourth generation has its own benefits. As you know, you are able to do a multi-layer consensus algorithm. It can be a extremely modified, very robust consensus algorithm. Apart from instant verification of any transactions and atomic swaps. So apart from that, we can add multi-chain. That means you can have many side chains as an easy and more robust and secure in terms of adding a side chain, and in terms of having very instant verification of transactions. So all the benefits which you are seeing in fourth generation blockchain will be part of the new JD Coin which we are developing. So I've been using this word atomic swap many times. So what is atomic swap? So atomic swap is something where it is a small type of a contract. It is a smart contract wherein you can exchange value. You can exchange value between two blockchains without the use of our traditional exchanges. You don't need a crypto exchange. You can exchange a coin to one more coin. Like you can convert your JD coin to a Bitcoin or a Bitcoin to a JD coin, and you don't need an exchange. There are two types of atomic swaps. This is just for knowledge purpose. So there is an on-chain atomic swap that takes place on the chain, and there is an off-chain which takes place off the chain, wherein you can have a smart contract and the smart contract gets, there'll be a time lock to it and it gets executed. One of the biggest benefits, if you can see, is there is a quick transaction and there is no this huge fees which we pay for crypto exchanges. There is no centralized intermediate party. So there is no miner as well required to validate your transactions. There is no need of miner. So these are the benefits. Just to recap, you don't need an exchange and you don't need mining, and it is completely fast and you don't need any transaction fees. Now coming to atomic swap as a feature. The atomic swap itself is based on what is called as HTLC. HTLC is the full form of HTLC is hashed time lock contracts. So there is a time lock where a party A would agree to party B saying that I will exchange this value within certain amount of time. Within that expiry, if you create an hash and exchange the hash, the transaction will go through, else it will not go through. You don't have to register through an exchange and do all that stuff. HTLCs are making very important roads into blockchain, mainly when it comes to exchanging a value between two chains. And atomic swaps is one such thing which is possible only due to HTLC. Now, instead of using a lot of jargons and all that stuff, for people who have been very new to blockchain, I want to actually touch upon a point saying that this most of the people would know, but with blockchain version 4, many such applications are possible. So with this new blockchain technology which JD Coin is also getting into, we can not only use it as a digital currency, we can use it as record keeping, we can use it as securities, we can use it as smart contracts. So these are the list of stuff where it can be used. This is a small list. There are many other such things, starting from e-commerce to global payments to microfinance, health, voting, IP rights, crowdfunding, private markets equity, escrows, and digital rights, storing and exchanging digital rights. So though most of you know these things, I wanted to elaborate that with blockchain 4.0, these are all more easy to do and more easy to develop. And most of the time, blockchain, as you know, is used in finances. And though this image which is in the right side has many circles and complex lines, all it wants to tell, that image wants to tell, is the benefits which we get in financial world, like how we can do payments, how it can be used in insurance, deposits and lending, capital raising, investment management, which is a very big thing, and market provisioning. There are many market provisioning, especially provisioning the buyers and sellers, smart contracts, which are very big thing. And now people are using machine learning and artificial intelligence to read through the contracts and make it lot of automation. Mainly automated data collection and analysis is been done, especially in the market provisioning side. And there is a lot of investment management also. So as you know, blockchain has a very huge number of applications, especially in finance, and a generation 4 kind of a blockchain will render itself for more such great applications, especially in finance. And this chart just shows you different such applications. Moving forward, most of the applications today and most of the companies today, the government is asking the companies, what are you doing for sustainability of the globe? There is a new concept called as carbon tax. There is new people are asking, what are you doing for social responsibility? So I wanted to touch upon how blockchain and how we can also use our chain in sustainability. Sustainability is not just going green or not just doing something which is ecologically friendly. Sustainability has many tentacles. I'm just going to show you the 7 such things where we can use blockchain, including JD Coin, for such applications in sustainability field, like supply chain, where you can see how a produce can come from farmer till your dining table. Transparent tracking of products using supply chain applications. How you can track recycling, and recycling can be rewarded by using recycled tokens, and also evaluate it using recycling tokens. So recycling of anything, it could be plastic from ocean. Energy is one big thing. It's not just being green energy, but how to exchange green energy within your own community, how to improve the access of power within your locality using P2P energy grids, and blockchain is big on that. The 4th one is when big nations do environmental treaties, blockchain can be used for tracking those treaties between those 2 countries, and data can be stored and data cannot be changed, immutable data. Then non-profit organizations, where you make a donation, you can track the donation if it has reached the intended person. Carbon tax. Carbon tax is one such thing where every product has a carbon footprint. If there is a huge carbon footprint, then the government can put a tax on it, which is called carbon tax. So to create a reputation system, how much carbon footprint your product is having, a blockchain application can be developed and used for companies to track their carbon footprint, track their products' carbon footprint. Blockchain applications can be written. Many blockchain applications have already been written, and we can write more in the future. And in any incentive programs can be tracked through blockchain and help in sustainable ways. I want to touch upon energy, because energy is going to become a very big thing. I want to show what energy blockchain and what are all the fields in which blockchain is making energy as a renewable, sustainable products. So you can see these are so many companies. I have just brought down so many companies which are working on blockchain and blockchain products only in energy sector, starting with renewable investments for energies, making tokens for energies, making infrastructure for energies, making data for energies, provenances, that where energy has started, where it has gone, how much has been used, and all that stuff, including microgrids and smart meters, and peer-to-peer energy trading. Peer-to-peer energy trading is one very big thing where blockchain can be used and already being used for peer-to-peer energy exchange. And most of this, if you see, are moving towards are already blockchain 4 generation. They're all 4th generation things. I wanted to just bring a list of companies that are working on energy sector. As you go forward, as we and our next generation, there are huge ecological challenges, and these are 6 energy challenges which the WHO and UN have come and put across. These are the 6 major challenges, and they call it Earth challenges, starting with climate change, biodiversity and conservation, healthy oceans, water security, clean air, and general awareness of any disasters, water and disasters, and resilience. So in each of these 6 Earth challenges, blockchain has its own benefits and own applications and use cases where many people are writing or will write applications and use blockchain in one of these 6 Earth challenges. So I have written down each use case, few use cases in each of these Earth challenges. Starting with under climate change, we have clean power, smart transport operations. Then we have land records being stored in the blockchain. Then smart cities itself with smart power and all that stuff. When it comes to biodiversity and conservation of the habitat itself, there are some pollution control and invasive species which we have to do a lot of applications to control them, like especially pollution control, especially if you want to store data on pollution aspects of different forests or countries or regions or geographies. You can store them in blockchain so that the data does not get tampered. Otherwise, every country would think that it want to show that it is more green and want to tamper that data. If it is on a blockchain, the data is not tampered. When it comes to ocean, there is a lot of ocean pollution prevention by giving tokens for removing the plastic from the ocean and get a token or a coin in exchange. Then checking on sustainable fishing so that overfishing is not done, and other grants which they get to track these grants that the funds are being used properly. Blockchain applications have been done. There is also one big use of blockchain in oceans is that they keep sensors across the oceans and collect data, and that data is stored on a blockchain as opposed to one single place. Next is water security. So any planning you do on water and any data you want to store on water, it is better to store on blockchain so that it is not tampered and the government or the water authorities don't want to change that data. If it is moving from one geography to the other geography, suppose it could be rivers or it could be any other sources of water supply. So clean air, again, clean air comes with clean fuels and monitoring and prevention of any such big pollution catastrophes. The data can be still stored, and you can still have, they also have, like how for water, they also have air sensors and data coming from air sensors. This is one thing. And when it comes to the last one, especially early warning systems for disasters or any other financial instruments which are used for disaster management can be put on blockchain. So there are many other use cases. I have just listed down few which have come from the UN, United Nations. So you can make a list of them, and many other lists also. There are huge number of lists which talk about usage of blockchain for sustainability and for answering Earth challenges. This is all I want to tell about the we have come to the close of 30 minutes, and I hope you have understood three big things. One is, of course, an introductory about what is blockchain. The second thing is JD Coin is going from proof of work to proof of stake, and it is using the latest of the fourth generation blockchain. Uses of fourth generation blockchain, the benefits of it. So thank you very much. Thank you for all of you being a part of this big successful journey, and we'll make history. Thank you for being a part of those history, and thank you for being one big world. Thank you very much. Thanks.